What if the global diamond industry was quietly shifting away from the traditional powers of the West? What if a deal signed thousands of miles away between two nations from the global South could reshape the balance of economic influence in one of the world's most valuable luxury markets? And what if that deal involved billions of dollars in diamonds, trade partnerships, and strategic cooperation? In a move that is already sparking global conversations, India and South Africa have signed a massive diamond agreement that could transform the global diamond supply chain. For decades, the Western world dominated the diamond trade from mining operations to luxury markets in Europe and North America. But now, a new partnership is emerging that could change everything. India, the world's largest diamond cutting and polishing hub, and South Africa, one of the richest diamond-producing nations on Earth, are strengthening their partnership in a way that could reshape global trade dynamics. And according to analysts, this agreement is more than just a diamond deal. It is part of a much bigger economic shift happening across the world. Today on THEAFRICANSPOTLIGHT 24/7, we break down what this historic deal means, why it matters, and why some Western analysts are paying very close attention. To understand why this deal is so important, we first need to understand how the global diamond industry works. Diamonds are one of the most valuable natural resources in the world. Every year, billions of dollars worth of diamonds move through global markets, but the diamond journey is complex. First, diamonds are mined often in countries rich in natural resources such as South Africa, Botswana, Russia, Canada, and Angola. Then those rough diamonds are transported to cutting and polishing centers, and this is where India plays a crucial role. India processes nearly 90% of the world's diamonds through its cutting and polishing industry. Cities like Surat have become global hubs where skilled workers transform rough diamonds into sparkling gems used in jewelry around the world. From there, diamonds enter luxury markets in Europe, the United States, the Middle East, and Asia. For decades, Western companies and financial systems helped control many parts of this supply chain. But today, emerging economies are beginning to reshape that system. South Africa has a long and powerful history in the diamond industry. The country became famous for its diamond mines in the late 19th century, when massive diamond discoveries transformed the global market. For more than a century, South Africa has been one of the world's most important diamond producers. The country's mining industry helped build cities, infrastructure, and international trade relationships. But despite its rich resources, many African countries historically received only a fraction of the profits generated by their natural wealth. Most raw materials were exported, processed elsewhere, and sold in international luxury markets. In recent years, African nations have increasingly focused on capturing more value from their resources by building stronger partnerships and encouraging more local processing. And that's where India comes in. While South Africa is known for mining diamonds, India is known for transforming them. The city of Surat in western India is often called the diamond capital of the world. Millions of diamonds pass through Surat's cutting and polishing workshops every year. Highly skilled artisans use advanced tools and techniques to shape rough diamonds into finished gemstones that are then sold across global jewelry markets. India's diamond industry employs hundreds of thousands of workers and contributes billions of dollars to the country's economy. But for this industry to thrive, India needs a stable supply of rough diamonds. And that is exactly why partnerships with diamond-producing countries like South Africa are so important. The new diamond agreement between India and South Africa aims to strengthen cooperation between the two countries in several areas. First, the deal focuses on improving the direct trade of rough diamonds from South Africa to India. This means fewer intermediaries and a more streamlined supply chain. Second, the agreement encourages investment in diamond processing and technology. Third, the partnership supports stronger economic ties between the two nations through trade, innovation, and cooperation. By working together, India and South Africa can strengthen their positions in the global diamond industry. And this partnership could also benefit workers, businesses, and investors in both countries. While trade agreements between countries are common, this particular deal is drawing attention for several reasons. First, it reflects the growing economic cooperation between emerging economies. India and South Africa are both members of major international groups that promote cooperation among developing nations. Second, the deal highlights how countries in the global South are increasingly building partnerships with each other instead of relying solely on Western markets. Third, it demonstrates how global supply chains are evolving. In the past, many industries depended heavily on Western financial centers and trade systems, but today, new trade networks are forming across Asia, Africa, and other regions. These changes are part of a broader shift in global economics. Across the African continent, countries are exploring new ways to benefit more from their natural resources. Rather than simply exporting raw materials, many African nations want to process, refine, and add value locally. This strategy helps create jobs, develop industries, and increase national revenue. South Africa's partnership with India reflects this new approach. By building stronger trade relationships with major processing hubs, African countries can gain better access to global markets. And partnerships like this one may help ensure that more economic benefits stay within the region. The global economy is undergoing significant changes. Emerging markets are expanding, trade partnerships are becoming more diverse, and countries are exploring new alliances that reflect shifting economic realities. The diamond deal between India and South Africa is just one example of this transformation. But it illustrates a broader trend, the rise of new economic connections that cross continents and reshape traditional trade patterns. Diamonds are not just luxury items, they also represent a significant economic resource. Diamond exports can generate billions of dollars in revenue for producing nations. At the same time, cutting and polishing industries provide jobs and skills for hundreds of thousands of workers. Because of this, controlling different parts of the diamond supply chain can have major economic implications. By strengthening cooperation between producers and processors, countries can increase efficiency and profitability. And that is exactly what India and South Africa are aiming to achieve. The partnership between India and South Africa is not only about diamonds. It is also about economic opportunity, industrial growth, and long-term cooperation. When two major players in the diamond supply chain decide to strengthen their relationship, the impact can extend far beyond the gemstone market. For South Africa, this agreement represents an opportunity to expand its reach in one of the world's most competitive industries. Diamonds remain a key part of the country's mining sector, and global demand for high-quality gemstones continues to remain strong. By creating a more direct pipeline to India's diamond processing centers, South Africa can increase the efficiency of its exports and ensure a stable market for its rough diamonds. For India, the deal helps secure one of the most important resources that fuel its massive diamond polishing industry. India's cutting and polishing sector relies heavily on the steady flow of rough diamonds from producing countries. Any disruption in supply can affect thousands of businesses and workers who depend on this trade. That is why strengthening relationships with mining nations like South Africa is so important. This agreement helps create a reliable supply chain that benefits both countries while also strengthening their broader economic ties. India's growing interest in Africa is not new. Over the past 2 decades, India has significantly expanded its trade relationships with African countries. Today, India is one of Africa's largest trading partners. Indian companies have invested in sectors such as technology, agriculture, pharmaceuticals, manufacturing, and energy across the continent. There are several reasons why India sees Africa as a strategic partner. First, Africa is rich in natural resources, including minerals, precious metals, and energy resources. Second, the continent has one of the fastest growing populations in the world, which means expanding markets for goods and services. Third, Africa offers opportunities for long-term industrial partnerships that can benefit both sides. The Diamond Agreement between India and South Africa fits into this broader strategy of economic cooperation. By strengthening trade relationships, both nations can create new opportunities for investment, employment, and technological exchange. South Africa has long been considered one of the most important mining countries in the world. The country's mineral wealth includes gold, platinum, coal, and diamonds. For more than a century, mining has played a central role in South Africa's economic development. Although the global mining industry has evolved over time, South Africa continues to be a significant player. Its mining sector provides jobs for thousands of people and contributes substantially to national revenue. However, the country has also faced challenges. Fluctuating commodity prices, global economic shifts, and the need for modernization have created pressure on the industry. That is why international partnerships like the one with India can help strengthen the sector. By expanding export markets and building stronger trade networks, South Africa can ensure that its mining industry remains competitive in the global marketplace. Another reason why this agreement is attracting attention is that it reflects a larger transformation in global supply chains. In the past, many industries relied heavily on a small number of international trade hubs. But today, supply chains are becoming more diversified. Countries are forming direct partnerships that allow them to bypass traditional intermediaries and build stronger economic relationships. The India-South Africa Diamond Partnership is a perfect example of this shift. Instead of relying on complex trade networks involving multiple countries and financial centers, the agreement encourages more direct cooperation between the producer and the processor. This approach can reduce costs, improve efficiency, and strengthen long-term stability in the market. For businesses involved in the diamond trade, such changes can have a significant impact. Lower costs and more efficient logistics can make the industry more competitive globally. Beyond trade and geopolitics, the agreement could also have meaningful effects for workers in both countries. In South Africa, the mining sector employs thousands of people who depend on stable export markets. When international partnerships expand, mining companies can increase production, invest in better technology, and create more employment opportunities. Similarly, India's diamond polishing industry provides jobs for hundreds of thousands of skilled workers. Many of these workers are highly trained artisans who have spent years mastering the craft of diamond cutting. A steady supply of rough diamonds ensures that these industries can continue operating at full capacity. This stability helps protect jobs and supports local economies in the regions where these industries are concentrated. One of the most interesting aspects of the India-South Africa diamond deal is that it highlights a growing trend in international relations. Countries in the global south are increasingly building stronger partnerships with each other. Instead of relying solely on traditional economic powers, many developing nations are expanding cooperation across Africa, Asia, and Latin America. This trend reflects the growing economic strength of emerging markets. As these economies expand, they gain greater influence in global trade and investment. Partnerships like the one between India and South Africa demonstrate how these relationships can create new opportunities for growth and development. They also show how international trade is becoming more balanced and diversified. The diamond industry is not only about mining and polishing. Technology is also playing an increasingly important role. Advanced tools and digital systems are transforming the way diamonds are tracked, processed, and sold. For example, blockchain technology is now being used to track diamonds from the mine to the market. This helps ensure transparency and reduces the risk of illegal trade. India's diamond industry has invested heavily in modern equipment and digital tools that improve precision and efficiency in the cutting process. By strengthening partnerships with mining nations like South Africa, these technological innovations can be integrated across the supply chain. This cooperation can help make the diamond industry more efficient and transparent. Despite economic fluctuations, diamonds continue to be one of the most sought-after luxury commodities in the world. Consumers in North America, Europe, the Middle East, and Asia purchase billions of dollars worth of diamond jewelry every year. Emerging markets are also contributing to growing demand. Countries with expanding middle classes are increasingly buying luxury goods, including diamonds. This rising demand creates opportunities for producers and processors alike. The partnership between India and South Africa positions both countries to benefit from these global trends. By strengthening their cooperation, they can ensure that they remain competitive in an industry that continues to evolve. Economic analysts around the world are closely observing developments like the India-South Africa Diamond Agreement. Not because the diamond market itself is new, but because the structure of global trade is changing. When major economies in the Global South form strategic partnerships, it signals a shift in how international business relationships are formed. Instead of a one-directional flow of resources and goods, trade networks are becoming more interconnected and collaborative. This creates a more dynamic global economy where multiple regions play important roles. For Africa in particular, these developments represent an opportunity to increase its influence in global markets. For many years, discussions about Africa's role in the global economy focused primarily on its resources. But today, the conversation is expanding. African countries are increasingly participating in global trade as strategic partners rather than just suppliers of raw materials. Partnerships with countries like India show how cooperation can create new pathways for development. They also highlight the importance of building industries, strengthening trade networks, and expanding technological capabilities. As these partnerships grow, Africa's role in global commerce is likely to become even more significant. The diamond deal between India and South Africa is more than just a trade agreement. It represents a new chapter in global economic cooperation, a chapter where emerging economies are building stronger partnerships, a chapter where countries rich in natural resources are seeking greater value from those resources, and a chapter where the Global South is playing an increasingly powerful role in shaping international trade. For India, the agreement helps secure a steady supply of rough diamonds for its world-leading cutting industry. For South Africa, it strengthens access to one of the largest diamond processing markets on Earth. And for the world, it highlights how global trade relationships are evolving in real time. But perhaps the most important takeaway is this: the future of global commerce may not be defined by traditional powers alone. Instead, it could be shaped by new alliances, new partnerships, and new economic strategies emerging from regions that were once overlooked. And as these changes continue to unfold, one thing is certain: the world will be watching. Here on THEAFRICANSPOTLIGHT 24/7, we will continue bringing you the stories that matter, stories about Africa's role in the global economy, its partnerships, and its growing influence on the world stage. Because the spotlight on Africa is only getting brighter,